I called a gentle horse, his eyes are big and brown. He's ready to carry you the whole world around. Come ride with me. Let's ride away. Come take a chance. I'll show you where the mountains touch the sky. It's a horseback dance, and we can ride forever if we try. A dream in the distance, there for you to chase. Out in the sunrise with the wind on your face. Come ride with me. Let's ride away. And the smell of the leather, the sunlight on your skin, they've got us aching to begin.
Hello, Don. Hello, Dave. How are you?
The light in your eyes.
You guys do me a favor and be sure to share this out. Hey, Vicky, how's it going? How's everybody doing today? Awesome, awesome. Hello, Laura. Hello, Joni Wells. How's it going? Thank you for sharing that out, Dave. I really appreciate that. All those groups. Yeah, you guys let everybody know that we're live, we're up, we're going. We're going to get things started here. And we're just going to have some fun today. We are. Hello, Connie Keith. How you doing? We're going to have some fun today. We got a good show up with you. So we got a special guest going to be here today. So we're, ow, dang it. I just got a sticker. Big time. Ow. But we got a special show today. We got a special guest with us today. We got all sorts of good things. Plus, I got some critical thinking for you first thing this morning. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a blast, and it's a great way to start the new week off. It really is. Of course, that's me. I'm biased when it comes to that kind of thinking, but that's just me. You know, what can I say? So we'll just go with that. Hello, Marita. Hey, Deanna. How you doing? Sean Bowden. How you guys doing this morning? Thank you for joining us this morning. Thank you. You know, it takes Facebook a little bit to let everybody know that I'm up and going. For some damn reason, they quit sending out my notifications, letting people know. Hey, Jonathan, how's it going? But Facebook has really gotten to where they're blocking me or something, but they're not letting my damn notifications go out. So this is where I got to have your guys' help. Try to get it out there, invite everybody, tell everybody that I'm up and I'm going, and we're going from there. Just do what we can do to try to get it out there, you know. So it's just one of those things, and I appreciate you guys being here today. And as the song says, come ride with me. We got a lot of stuff going on, and we're going to go from there. We really are. Excuse me. Hey, Danielle, how you doing? Thank you for joining us, ma'am. Appreciate you being here. We got, like I said, I got a lot of things going on today. So I love busy days like this. I really do. I love days where there's so much going on where you scratch your head. You wonder just what in the hell's happening because there's a lot going on. And I like that. Hey, Jesse, how you doing? Awesome. Thank you. Well, be sure to invite everybody, Jesse, so they'll come along with this thing. Especially in the comments. She said, Marita says she heard that there's new algorithms required. A lot of the likes and hearts. Well, you guys put out those likes and hearts in if you would. Hey, Stephen, how you doing? Thank you for joining us this morning. Facebook is just being Facebook. We got to deal with it and kind of go from there. So it's just one of those things that we have to live with and deal with. But right now, I want to invite everybody and thank you for joining me on the Patriotic Rancher Show. I am your host, Mr. Brutally Honest. For some of you folks that don't know who I am. All right. So my first question is this. In all honesty, is your mind growing with knowledge of reality in the terms of fiction or nonfiction? I actually had somebody ask me yesterday, what is fiction and nonfiction? They had no clue. This young man had no idea the difference between fiction and nonfiction. So I had to explain to him how one is real life and the other one's make-believe life. And he didn't know that. I said, how can you not know what fiction and nonfiction is? He said, I was never taught that in school. I said, didn't you read in school? He said, just homework. I said, do you ever read in real life? He goes, no, I ain't got time to read in real life. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? How do you expect to learn anything if you don't read something? Oh, no. Kind of like, really? It just don't make no sense to me. Sometimes these people flat out amaze me, especially these younger kids, because it makes me wonder if they don't have any structure in their family life to where reading is one of the biggest things. I asked him, I said, when was the last time you wrote a letter? I never wrote a letter. I've never wrote a letter at all in my life. I said, why not? He says, well, there's no reason to because I can just text them. No lie. I said, I can just text them. I said, okay. Well, how about this? How about you write me a letter? And then I'll write you a letter back. He says, why do I have to mail it? You just live 10 miles down the road. I said, so what? Mail it. I said, here's the biggest thing. Those are the kind of skills you're going to need. I said, can you at least write in cursive? Yes. I said, write me a letter that's in cursive then. I said, okay. I said, I'll reply to you in cursive. Okay. He said, well, I really can't read cursive, but I'll try. I said, if you can't read cursive, how can you read the Declaration of Independence? How can you read the preamble? How can you read the Bill of Rights? How can you read anything that's in cursive? I don't know. I've never had to before because everything's done on a computer. I said, when did you start using computers? He said, oh, in the second grade. Why not? It's kind of like, holy crap. So, turn down your speaker if you would. It's feeding back. We're doing good. That's my special guest I got waiting in the room. She's going to be coming on with us here in just a little bit. But my biggest thing is this. I've been doing a lot of reading lately because of the special series that me and Crazy Horse are going to be bringing you guys. And I tell you what, when you start reading, especially this stuff, which is all real, which is what? Fiction or nonfiction? You guys tell me. When you start reading things and it's real life, it's real in all aspects, it makes you wonder, am I froze up on Facebook? Huh. No, I'm not. It's going again. Okay. But when you start reading, your mind grows, your mind expands, your mind really wonders how much of this is real and how much is not real. And I'm the type of guy, when I read, I put myself actually in the situation that I'm reading. I've always been able to do that where it's all the Louis L'Amour books and great books, you name it, any book I've ever read in my life. Whether it be a sci-fi book, or it be a Tom Clancy book, whether it be William Johnston book, no matter what, I always put myself in there like I'm a third person looking in, like I'm a fly on the wall. and I learn a lot. My mind always grows. My mind expands. But when I was on this phone talking to this young man, I was kind of like, are you kidding me? So come on, it's time to get things going. Because as we grow in this life, we have to learn. If we don't learn, we're going to be left behind. You know, there's a thing called diversification. And doing things on this is one thing. That is, it's just one thing. This, ladies and gentlemen, does not dictate our life. It does some of you, but it doesn't mine. And it doesn't yours. And it doesn't a lot of people. So what we have to do is we really have to consider things and look at things on how our life is really based. And this is what we got to get back to reading. Because the written word holds so much value in our life. Because people can get on here and say anything they want. They really can. They can put on all the facades they want. They can put on the shows they want. They can put all the glamour they want. But when you meet the person in real life, sometimes you find out that's not who that is. I mean, hell, look at our movie stars. Look at our TV stars. They pretty much tell you, you actually see that. You see the crap that they're doing when they're not in the shows and they're on TV. You see the stuff that they're doing. They think they're holier than thou. So real world, fake world. That's some critical thinking for you this morning. You know, so it just makes you wonder. Makes you wonder. All right. So now we have something coming on, ladies and gentlemen. And this Coffee with Conversation, I thought, let's do this. Let's make this a special one. I visited with this lady for a while the other day, and we got to talking. She sent me her website. She sent me the information on what she's trying to do, how she's trying to do it. We talked about a lot of things and covered a lot of different aspects. And the more I talked to her, the more I said, well, let's just do a damn show. And she was up for it. So I figured what better time to do a show than this Coffee with Conversation, because, you know, there's several aspects of what she's doing and wanting to do that really touches my heart, as it should you guys. She is trying to start a ranch. She's trying to do something to help the kids. She's trying to help young men find their path in life. And not only young men, but all children. She's trying to give them a start where they won't have anywhere else, or the possibility of achieving anywhere else. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring on my special guest today. And her name is Victoria. How you say it? Moul?
Moul.
Now, not Moul, not Mule.
I don't know. I sometimes get that too.
But Victoria has started a nonprofit organization called Kitty's Longbranch Ranch. And no, it's not Kitty from Gunsmoke.
No.
The Kitty that this is your grandmother, right?
Yes, that was her nickname.
Okay. So, you know, well, let's just start this thing off. Introduce yourself to everybody and tell them just a little snippet about yourself.
Okay. Let's see. I, of course, am Victoria. I live in Colorado. I have a Texas accent. I spent half of my life in Kansas and half of my life in Texas. I'm a glorified redneck. I am a single mother of 5 kids. 2 are in their 20s, and then I have 7-year-old triplets. I am a nurse, CNA/nurse for special needs kids. I provide care for special needs kids on the weekends and after school. And then I'm also the founder of this program. And then I also work with kids on the streets here in my local community.
Awesome. Awesome. Whoa, we got a little reverb on your end. You might want to turn your volume down.
On mine?
Yeah, you're getting a lot of feedback.
Okay.
All right. There we go. All right. So one of the things that I want to try to get people to understand is exactly. Let's go. Let's start from the very beginning. When you started putting this together, did you have any idea that it was going to be this hard?
No. 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 Man, when I decided to I decided to do this 16 years ago now. And I was told I had to have the education and the experience and everything to be able to run this. And when I finally decided to do it, I thought it's such a fantastic program. It's such a fantastic idea. And there's so many people out there that can identify with me and the kids that we want to help, that I thought within a year, easily we would be up and going, and not only up and going, but we would, we would be open by now. I thought it was a for sure thing. And then the first year came and I thought, okay, I'm in a learning curve. It's fine. And so I learned more and did more training and more mentorship. And I thought by the second year, for sure, we were going to be up and running. I had no idea that like you said the other day when we were talking, I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm inventing the wheel with these programs.
Right.
It's a lot. It's so much harder than I had ever. I thought the education and the career experience was hard. No.
Now, one of the struggles that we've talked about that you faced is being a single mom.
Yeah.
Right. Has really reared its ugly head as far as people's conception of what you're trying to do. Being a single mom, trying to do something like this, plus working a job, for some reason, somehow, some way, people have really run you through the mill in more ways than one.
Let's see. I've been called a scam artist. I have been called a fraud. I have been accused of taking funds that are dedicated for the ranch and putting them in my own pocket. One person said that was the only way it could explain that as a single mom, I lived a good life. I have been ridiculed. The name of the ranch alone has been attacked, calling it a whorehouse. It's the fact that I'm a female and I'm trying to start a ranch, that I have gotten attacked and locked out so much from just that alone. And then the question is, well, you're a single mom. How do you expect to take care of your own kids and then take care of other kids too? So yeah, every aspect of who I am as a human being for the last 2 years has been shredded, to say the least.
Right. Now, one of the things people don't realize is this. Being a single mom, your dedication is to your kids.
Yes.
This is something that you've wanted to grow pretty much as far back as you can remember.
Yes.
But your number one priority is your kids, so therefore you do work. What do you do for an occupation?
I am a CNA, and I'm a CNA for the state of Colorado. I get paid by Medicaid to provide care for special needs kids. 2 of them are my own. Colorado, I believe, may be the one or second state in the entire United States that does this, where parents are paid through the state to provide care for their special needs kids. I have one that has level 2 autism. He also has CF, which is cystic fibrosis. And then he has an eating disorder. And then I have another son that has autism and severe sensory issues. And then during the school year after school, I provide care for special needs kids and get paid for that as well.
But so in the nutshell, you are working.
Yes.
You do have a way to make income, so you're not milking the system. You're not on the system. You're
I'm
trying
not.
to live a good life. I do know that you go to a cowboy church out there in Colorado.
Yes, I do.
One of the things that people seem to correlate with something like this is this being a nonprofit. Are you the only one that's going to be involved in this? Are you
It's
want
impossible.
you want no because something like this, what you're trying to achieve takes many cogs in the wheel. You got to have people helping you. You got to have volunteers. You got to have finances. You got to have a board of directors. You got to have a CEO.
You've got to have committees. You've got to have a fundraising committee. You have to have an attorney. Oh my goodness. You know, in just a normal nonprofit, they may be able to get by with a little bit, or they might be able to pull just from the general community itself. With me running a ranch, and especially a working horse ranch, I don't just need people that have some type of social work background that know how to work with kids. I need people that know how to run a ranch. I need people that know how to work on a ranch. I need people that know how to train horses. I need people that understand that life, because being a rancher or a farmer is a completely different lifestyle than just a general community in a city. So while we need a lot of people, it's also extremely difficult because our subset is very specific.
Right. Now, what is it, if you could go into detail exactly what you're trying to achieve? How are you wanting to set this up as far as the ages and whether you're going to have living quarters and not living quarters, furnished meals, all that good stuff? Just kind of go into detail and kind of explain to everybody what you're wanting to do on that aspect.
Okay. So in a perfect world, if I had all the money at my disposal and the best, ranch hands and people in the world, how it would look is we'd be on a very large, I tried to go for 100 acres and apparently I've been downsized, but it would be a very big ranch. It would, the main part of that entire place would be the house, the main house. That house would have a community center for, just a living room. It'd have a big kitchen, because my firm belief with the way I was raised is we eat together as a family. So it'd have a big kitchen. It'd have a place for education, a big library or something. And that main house would be our gathering place. That's where we have our meals, our get-togethers, hang out. Then there would be a dorm, of course. I prefer it to be a bunkhouse. I don't desire this ranch to look or feel like a facility at all. I want the staff and the kids that come stay here to feel like they're a part of the family. So it would be a bunkhouse for the 16 to 19-year-old boys that we would serve. And then we would have two of our staff, or what I call ranch hands, in the bunkhouses with them. And then, we would have 12 to 16 horses, and they'd be in different stages, anywhere from yearling up to, I would even go with the elders in their 20s, because horses at that age, they make great cuddle companions, not so much for training, roping, or horsemanship, but they make good companions. And it would be a working horse ranch. Even I wouldn't be sitting in an office somewhere telling everybody else what to do. I would probably be making cookies or going around, hugging kids, because I'm a mom. That's what I do. But we would just be out there working every day, and that's what we do. And the boys get their mentorship and their training through the ranch hands that we have on staff. And they would get their formal education, of course, because everybody knows without a formal education, you're not going to get anywhere. I mean, Vo-Tech is great, but you need something to fall back on. And then once they graduate the program, it's a 2-year program. And we did that because if we get a 16-year-old, maybe they're not adult or ready until they're 18. So we made it a 2-year program. Then we put them out into internships. Maybe we put them into Votech school. We give internships. We are agriculturally based. So whether they do ranching, farming, anything to do with agriculture, that's where we put them. And then during the summer, we do the kids programs. I don't like the idea of just serving a subset. I love the idea of having multitudes of kids on the ranch. And so during the summer, having kids come out, doing gardening, learning basic horsemanship skills, equine basics, learning how to make leather. That's something I did with my grandpa, you know, those little leather tools, and he'd teach me how to make those little medicine bags. Because the one thing that I have noticed is the ranching and farming way of life is dying. And I feel inside my heart that if we are able to give that passion back and put that passion back into kids, maybe we can revitalize this. So not only are we helping these boys get on their feet and helping the kids during the summer, but we're also putting the passion into their hearts so that they can go back into, you know, the agricultural sector and be able to revitalize this 20 years from now.
Awesome. That's, you know, and that's a good thing, because this needs to be a long-term deal. And I can just imagine the BS that you're having to go through in all this. We've talked about this in depth, and just so folks know, she originally wanted to do this in Kansas, northeast Kansas, or northwest Kansas. I'm sorry. And I've been in Kansas. I've worked on ranches in Kansas. I like the state of Kansas. It has some great points, but one of the things about certain parts of Kansas is when it comes to the women folk, you can't do nothing. They still believe the old adage that you got to have a man to do whatever you want to do. And everything you're saying, you're trying to help these kids, you're trying to build something, you're trying to build these programs. You are trying to make it to where others have a chance in life that you didn't have.
Yes.
Or a lot of other people. You're still a young lady. You still got a lot of life ahead of you. You got a big challenge, but one of the things that you're fighting more than anything, other than yourself and other people and the negativity, is the politics of it all. You know, and here's the problem. You wouldn't think trying to start a nonprofit like this would be politically driven, but it is, because people are about themselves in this society. They're about themselves. And you're trying to do something that it's not about you. No. It's about other kids.
Yes.
You know, we keep hearing all the negativity about what's going on with children today, what's been happening to children, how children are left out on the streets, how children have gone through this, that, and the other. And it's all a shame. It really is. And how our children are being overlooked, and then how these children have no discipline, so they're attacking teachers. They have no discipline, so they're committing these crimes out on the streets. This right here would be a good avenue for children to not be on the streets, for children to actually have something to do with their hands that they can learn, because 99% of these kids, unless there's a major change in their life, will not have the opportunity to go to college. People would not understand how rough it is on some of these kids that come up from broken homes. I personally do, because I come from one. What you're trying to do is something on the auspices of what Cal Farley's Boys Ranch was started on. That Mr. Cal Farley, when he started this, he wanted to take in boys that were coming from broken homes that tried to help them, and he wanted to be self-sufficient on top of that. And that's what you're trying to do. And the shame of it is how you run into good old boy systems. You run into, you know, oh, you're a woman, you can't do that. We've even talked about it, about how the help you're going to have with you being the CEO, you're going to have a spokesperson. You're going to have a board of directors. You're going to have volunteers. You're going to have to do everything in order to get this thing up and going.
Yeah.
But you keep hitting these roadblocks as you go.
Yeah.
Now, the number one roadblock you're hitting right now, because anybody can type it in. You can type it in on Facebook. You can actually Google it. Type in Kitty's Longbranch Ranch, and it does come up as a nonprofit.
We're 501c3.
Government.
Yep.
But that's about all you got right now.
That's about all we got.
You don't have a place yet.
No.
You don't have no buildings yet. You don't have nothing to where you can say, here's my foundation.
Correct.
So let's start. And that's the one thing where you need some help. Somehow, some way, you have to figure it out how to get that. Or somebody has to come in with some ideas in order to help you get started. One of the things that I do know is there's a lot of grants out there, and we've talked about this, finding a grant writer, finding, somebody that can do this kind of stuff. But as we know, they cost a lot of money.
A lot of money.
A lot of money.
A lot of money.
Well, I actually, yesterday, I started a fundraiser for Kitty's Longbranch Ranch. I started one, and it's going to be running to like the 22nd of this month. I put on there fundraiser for $1,000. So if people will see that fundraiser and donate to that, that would be a good start. Now, you said that you already have places. You was telling me you have places that all this donation money goes into. You have accounts to where you can verify that this is where it's going and it's not going to you.
No, no. I don't like jail. Jail's not a friendly place to be, and I love my kids. So no, I don't touch the money at all. It goes to one bank out in Russell, Kansas. It goes out there. It stays in that account. If we have to pay for website charges or B&O insurance or anything like that, it automatically comes out of that account. I'm terrified because the IRS is so picky that I don't touch that stuff at all. No, thank you. I'll be homeless and on the streets with my kids before I ever touch that money.
Okay. So just to kind of give everybody a overview of what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
You actually have a website up.
Yes.
And I'm going to grab the camera here and I'm going to do this. And here is the website, ladies and gentlemen. It's called Kitty's Longbranch Ranch. And you can type it in. Right there is the deal. It's kittieslongbranch.org. And basically your whole website is, it says about us, getting involved, campaign, capital campaign, events, sponsors, contact us. And you kind of spell out here about how does our program work. You got building the dorm campaign going on. Is that still going on?
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. So the thought was, how do we raise money to build this bunkhouse for the kids? And the picture of that bunkhouse is something similar to what I'd like to do for these kids. And the thought is the Build-A-Brick. Build-A-Brick used to be a very popular program for raising money. And I love the idea of it because you can donate a brick, then you can have it engraved with whatever you want on it. And then we will use it for the pathways that go through the ranch. And those bricks can last 100 years. So not only is the money going towards building the bunkhouse dorm for the boys, but now if you do a memorial or you'd like to, just give a good message to someone that may be walking those bricks one day, that's their pathway into the ranch as well. So it's a double folded term.
Right. And you do have, you got here it says donate. There's many ways to donate: by cash donations, in-kind donations, tax, saddle, helmets, food, horses, animals, chickens, whatever. corporate and individual sponsorships. All donations are tax deductible, ladies and gentlemen, because it is a nonprofit. It is a grassroots 501c3 in the beginning stages of organization. One thing you're going to need too is a buttload of volunteers.
Oh, yes. I need volunteers. We hired a strategic planner, and the strategic planner said that what we need to do is hold a lot of fundraisers so that we can start gaining the capital to be able to buy a ranch. And me personally, and just with friends and 2 of my board members, have done events in the last 2 years. And it is a difficult thing to do. And when you're holding a large event that's speakers and music and food and booths and all of that kind of stuff, it can easily take up to 30 volunteers just to help with one event.
Right. And what I love is how you're trying to bring everything together. I really do. Let's look at your get involved aspect of your website here and what you're wanting people to do. You're looking for donations, of course, volunteers, and partnering with you guys to become a sponsor. Now, I see on your sponsors list here, you actually got a couple of sponsors.
Those are people that sponsored us when we did our first couple of fundraisers. And because they were so willing to back us, we have offered to keep their logos and their links on our website for a 2-year period. That 2 years is almost coming up, so we will be replacing those soon. But yes, those are the sponsors that had us for our first 2 events. And if you click on the links of any of those icons, it goes directly to their website.
Okay. Just so people would know, if somebody wants to sponsor you, what are you wanting them to sponsor? I mean, what are you wanting from them as far as sponsorship?
Right now, I would say it'd be fantastic if someone could sponsor us a ranch. Hey, go big or go home, right?
Right.
The ranch. But, right now it would be really nice. We do have to do these fundraising events and build awareness of who we are. So right now, sponsoring a venue, food, that's a huge thing. Lots of people come for food. Sponsoring, the money that it takes to get the venue and rent tables. We had an event that we unfortunately had to cancel back in February, and we were actually flying in Sean Stamali, who's a country music artist out of Nashville. We were flying him in for the event, and that alone was $2,500 that I was paying out of my own pocket. Because, people, sure, they'll go to a fundraiser or an event, for fun, or if you have really good food, but you have to have a lot of quality entertainment and a reason for people to be there for them to be willing to buy tickets. So
Right.
Then you have to have a really good venue placement. You have to have really good entertainment. You have to have really good food. You have to have, great speakers. There's just a lot involved. And that event alone that we were going to have in February was going to cost us almost 10 grand just to hold the event. And so, sponsoring that goes a long, long way, because for the last 2 years, I'm the one that has paid out of pocket for these things. I've spent over $30,000 in, these events and putting deposits down on venues and stuff like that. And it's put me in a financial hole, and not that I'm complaining, because this is my life and my passion. But it's gotten to a place where if we did have people sponsor those types of events, I would breathe a lot easier.
Right. Here's one of the things that people don't understand. You keep saying ranch. Folks, you'd be amazed what you can do with 5 acres to even start, or even 2 acres. Even just to get started. 10 acres. one of the things that people don't realize is I've lived in this situation before, and I've seen a lot of people take 5 acres and they've put an arena on it. They've put stalls on it. You got a place to store your feed, your hay, your tack. You got your house on it. People even build little sheds on it for people to stay in, what's called guest quarters. And even if that is what you need to get started, then that's what you have to look at. And you can build up from there as it grows. And one of the things about it too is a ranch is a ranch is a ranch. I don't care how big or how small it is. To you, if it's your ranch, then it's your ranch. Whether it be 2 acres, 5 acres, 10 acres, 100 acres, 5,000 acres, or even some of the places I've worked on, 444,000 acres.
No, thank you.
Largest ranch I ever worked on was 1,000,005 acres. You know, but one of the things is the donation aspect of it is so hard with nonprofits, especially like yours, because there's so much politics involved, and this shouldn't involve politics at all. It's not like you're St. Vincent de Paul, American Red Cross, you know, any of those places. No. So you're having a lot of politics thrown at you in order to start something. Now, here's one of the things too. If people would really look at things as far as a nonprofit go, look at all your nonprofits out there. Yeah, you got the YMCA, you got the YWCA, you got Red Cross, you got Salvation Army, you got a lot of them starting up with vets, and I'm supporting them 100% because I'm a vet. But how many up there nonprofits are set up to give children the opportunity to go out and learn a trade, to help them get through high school, to help them get through junior high, to help them find a footpath in life that they probably never would anywhere else? And this is what's so vital about this. This aspect that you're trying to do does that.
Yes.
It's not glamorous. No. It's not pretty. It's not cute. But one thing a lot of people don't realize about ranch life and farm life is it's hard.
Yes, it is.
It's damn hard.
It's character building.
It's character building. It teaches you respect. It gives you morals, gives you value, teaches you honor, because you could be out there and you got a mare. Somebody might donate a mare, but guess what? It's fixing to have a colt. So you got to learn what to do when it comes time for that mare to have a colt. And you can't call the vet every time something happens. So you got to learn how to take care of animals and doctor animals.
Yes.
So there's a lot of different aspects in this where I can see where it really helps these kids grow and become young men that can be productive in their life.
Yes.
One of the things that I'm understanding is the difficulty, and this is for everything, every nonprofit out there that's not a multi-millionaire CEO operating it, is if you're trying, you have so many roadblocks. And it takes people to spread the word. It takes people to help market you. It takes people to help talk about you in order to let people know what's going on.
Yes.
And one of the things too is people are very judgmental, as you have ran into that since you've started this whole ordeal. And it is a shame that people have become very judgmental. So we have to look at things as this. Is this about you, Victoria?
No.
Or is it about the kids?
It's about the kids. And that's the thing that gets to me the most is I don't, it's like you have to be the face of the ranch. You have to be the spokesperson. You have to tell your story to get people to tie into this ranch. And I don't understand it. And the reason I don't understand it is because there's so many people. I hear it constantly on Facebook, on Instagram, out in public. I hear it all the time. well, these kids are on their phones all the time, and they're so disrespectful to their parents, and they're getting into this trouble and that trouble and blah 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 and whatever the case may be. And I'm like, here's a program that teaches how to shake hands firmly with direct eye contact, how to respect your elders, how to be responsible for something outside of yourself. The responsibility, character building, all of those things that were back in the day, as they say it, that people constantly talk about how they wish it was still a thing. And I'm trying to make this a thing, but somehow, instead of people realizing that this ranch is for kids, and I mean all kids, not just the residents, the boys that'll live there, but for all kids in general. And it's a healing place, because if you get someone like me or someone like you that has a past, a hurtful past, I'll put it that way, and they come out here and work, they're able to teach these kids and walk alongside these kids as well. Because one thing I found is those of us that have been broken and have been able to dig ourselves out of that desperate hole that we found ourselves in, we have so much to teach. We have so much to say. And these kids need people like us to show that there is a way out and there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And it has nothing to do with me. I don't even want to be the boss of the ranch. I just want to be the mom of the ranch that loves the kids and makes cookies and I just want to be the mom aspect of this. I could care less if my face is on this ranch. It's not what I'm doing it for. I have a passion for kids.
And that's one thing we talked about having a spokesperson for the deal. And you said just that. You told me just that. You'd prefer it with somebody else because you just want to be out there, either in the kitchen or out with the kids, getting dirty, getting your hands all grubby in the mud and the playing, and and helping these kids grow.
Yes.
And you'd be plumb fine if there was somebody else, in charge and large of doing that.
Somebody else can have the mess. I just want to be with
now. One of the things too is I want people to understand is you are just trying to get going. You've been doing this, and it takes time for anything good to take a foothold. So with that being said, right now, how can people help you right now get that foothold so you can get going?
So I have a president and I have a treasurer and I have a secretary, but the president is got a new job and kind of doing his own thing and doesn't really have time to set aside for this. And the treasurer is backing off because she's the CFO of a major medical company and she's got a lot of responsibilities. And then our Kansas committee, I'm very proud of the leader of our Kansas committee, but the leader of the Kansas committee started his own company and they are flourishing wildly. And so there's not a lot of people to help continue where we are right now. And so I could use a treasurer. I could use another couple of board members, but it's a working board. So there's a lot of work involved and there's no pay. You don't get paid for this. Committees to be able to do the fundraising. The website that you just showed, I did. With some assistance of a friend of mine, I did that website. And now I'm in the middle of building a new website because that one's old. And so now here I am. So somebody that does websites, grant writer, as you said, marketing person, I do everything. I do our marketing on all of our social media. I do all of our ads. I literally am a one-woman show that is wearing down. And so just it takes a village to raise a child. Can you imagine how many villages it takes to get this up and running?
one of the things that I want people to understand. This is not a political aspect. We're dealing with political aspects every single day from our government. It's ramrodded down our throats every single day. They blast it all over the TV. They blast it all over social media, all over the internet, everything. This has nothing to do with politics.
No.
This lady is trying to start something that's a positive aspect in this country. It's to help kids get a start in life. That is what it boils down to. There's no political agenda here. It's not. There is no bias here. There's no bias, because we have talked left and right about this. You are open to any kids anywhere. You are open. It does not matter if they belong to LBGTQHIP, whatever. It doesn't matter if they're straight, gay, black, white, pink, purple. It don't make a damn.
No, it doesn't, because you and I'm not trying to bring God into this, because we're not a religious organization, but me personally, I would like to think that I try to live my best life the way God would want me to. And with Jesus, and this is how I tie back, when Jesus was walking and met the children, he didn't meet a child and then go, oh, no, because you're not something that I agree with, I'm not going to love you. He loved all children equally, because children are pure of heart. And that's what I think is, children, if given the chance, can turn into beautiful, amazing adults. We just have to give them that chance. And children, the thought is, if we turn a child away for their religion or their sexual preference or their orientation, then we're telling them up front, you're not good enough.
Right. I want to answer a question here from Stephen Tolliver real quick. He says, is this a 501c? Yes, it's a 501c3, correct?
Yes, we have been a 501c3 with the IRS since June of last year.
Okay. All right. Now, also at the same time, you're going to take anybody, your door is open to anybody, and it don't matter what their living situation is. Good home, broken home, kids on the streets, kids in the juvenile system, anything to help these kids out, right?
So how we do this is we take children, we take children from all over the United States. First of all, we need to be open about that. All over the United States. It doesn't matter their living situation. What matters is they're vetted. Before they come into our program, they are vetted. We are not a mental health facility. We're not an addiction facility. We're not any of those things. So we have to vet them to make sure that they're mentally, emotionally, and physically able to be able to be on that ranch and go through our program.
Right.
The one thing that we are doing is we are going to partner with other organizations, such as Fire Mountain Addiction Treatment Center up in Estes Park, such as there's another one that is down in Denver. So there's a lot of different nonprofit organizations that can help kids that need extra help that may not fit our program, because we're not going to turn any child away. Maybe once they go through our vetting process, maybe they don't get in, but we will do what it takes to make sure that they do go into some program somewhere that will help them, even if we're not able to provide those services. Because my core belief is no child left behind.
Right, right. And God bless you for that. That's all I can say is God bless you for that. One of the things is you just touched on something other than no child left behind, is you're going to be vetting these kids. And that's important. That's important. And like you said, you're not going to be set up to where you got to have counselors and you got to have therapists and all this other stuff. Because then that's where things really get political. And it all becomes, you're taken away from the aspect of trying to give kids a start to becoming a lovey-dovey society. Because what you're trying to do is not going to be easy in any way, shape, or form. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be tough, especially for the kids. Because you can have kids come in from a seriously broken home, a kid that's very much an introvert, a kid that won't even look up. And you're going to try to introduce them to another realm of life that's going to offer them the opportunity to even touch an animal that can change it. Now, there's an old saying, there's something about the outside of a horse that's good for the inside of a man. You know, and that is so true. Growing up with horses and cattle all my life, when I have a bad day, I go out and I whistle all my horses up and I stay out there for a couple hours, if not ride them. And my whole aspect of life changes. What I'm thinking changes, what I'm doing changes, everything just is better. Now, as far as volunteers, we've already talked about how you're needing volunteers to come in, even if they can come in for a week or willing to take a vacation to come in. You're hoping to have places and rooms and stuff built to where everybody's got some place to stay.
Yes. On the side aspect of this, I tried this summer. I figured if I couldn't get the ranch through funding, then I was going to buy this myself. And I tried to do that this summer, and I got caught up in a whirlwind of thinking I was going to be able to go out and buy this ranch, and that didn't happen the way I wanted it to. And so my oldest daughter and her boyfriend moved from Kansas City to come stay with me as they're helping so that I can save up money to be able to try again next summer. And when I first started this and I didn't get much response from people, I thought, how much does it cost for a truckload of 2x4s, some nails, and a hammer? Because I'm going to go find some vacant land somewhere and I'm going to build a little shanty and I'm going to do it myself. I mean, well, come on.
Yeah. So, well, I got a question here for you.
Yes.
Stephen Tolliver typed in, if somebody was to sponsor your ranch, how much would be required to get you to a stressless operating status?
Okay, and I saw that. And this is where things get hairy. But you have to remember, Bill Gates built computers in his garage and nobody believed he could actually pull it off. And now he's a multimillionaire. So hang in there with me. We did the operating budget, and the operating budget for startup, which is the land, the buildings, the supplies, everything that you would need for the very first year is $850,000. Once we're up and running, if we have 10 kids, which is our full capacity, 10 kids residentially, we have 12 staff. 8 of them would be regular staff that live on property. The rest would be alternate staff. And we were fully up and running, we would be almost $1 million a year. And several of the people that I have worked with, like the economic development director and stuff, have called it the $1 Million Ranch. But it sounds scary. It does. It sounds scary to me. It sounds scary. But when you get grants and donations, and fundraisers, and those things, and you have somebody like me who is a Dave Ramsey budget OCD person, you can do it. And the reason why it's so much is because the one thing that sets us aside from any other ranch in the United States is I insist, I don't care what it takes, I insist that this be a ranch where the families do not have to pay for the boys to be residentially on site. Because if you go to Cal Farley, they're $8,000 a month. There's another location where they're $12,000 a month. I had to stay up for 2 days straight and help this lady who was in desperate need. And I stayed up for 2 days calling all over to all these ranches all over the US, and the amount of money that they're insisting on is insane. And this woman is in tears because she can't find help for her son, but she can't afford it. And so I want this ranch to be a place where if these boys fit our programs and they would thrive there, I want them to be able to come in and live that program to their fullest and not have money be an issue, because that's not fair. I don't think you should say.
I got a question to ask you.
Sure.
I just received a personal message from an individual, and they want to know, would $500,000 help you get a start?
Are you kidding me? There's a ranch right now with 83 acres that has buildings on it and everything for $537,000. That would get us a ranch tomorrow.
Okay. Well, one of the things too, we need to clarify, and people, I don't know if people understand this or not, but even though you're a nonprofit, you're going to be doing your fundraisers, you're going to be doing benefits, you're going to be doing all this other stuff, but at the same time, you're going to be making this place self-sufficient.
Oh, yeah.
Have gardens, growing your own food.
And
you're going to have cattle where you can butcher a steer every year. So you got meat. You know, you have the opportunity to not only teach horticulture, but animal husbandry, plus regular everyday life.
Yes.
On this, so you can become as much self-sufficient as possible.
Isn't every ranch?
That's going to help you.
Every working ranch is self-sufficient. You don't see, you're a rancher. You don't see you running out to go eat every night. You don't see you know, going down to the local grocery store to buy your hamburger. I mean, every true working ranch is self-sufficient. And there's an important piece to this. The reason why it's critical for a ranch to be self-sufficient, especially one as this, is because it demands that everybody work together. It demands that you stay accountable and responsible, not only for yourself, but everyone else, because it takes one person to screw up and that whole ranch to fall apart. So it demands teamwork and togetherness, and you have no way out. If you fail, you fail, and you have to learn how to fix that. So self-sufficiency is vital.
Right. And that will knock your costs down tremendously.
Yes.
And people just don't understand that aspect of it, that when you do something like this, it has to keep your cost down, because your cost is, you're going to have your medical needs also, because somebody will get hurt somewhere, sometime doing something. So you got your medical, you can do your medical aspects. So you're going to have that.
And liability insurance and
insurance, everything, and that's going. Now, if somebody does do this, say off the top of the wall, if there was a business entity that donated this, or an individual that donated this, would you consider them a donator or a sponsor, or how would you do that?
So what happens is anything over $1,000, anything over $1,000 makes you well, you're a donor anyway, but anything over $1,000 makes you like a top tier donor. Anything over $5,000 makes you where you get like a banner with your name on it and maybe your business. $50,000. In fact, if you go on our website, it has the levels and what you get for each level. $50,000 makes you to where not only do you have a banner and you have a link on our website, but you are also a speaker at all of our events because you're a major donor. Plus you get a private tour of the facilities, and one of the buildings, such as the barn, gets to be named after you. So there's several tiers to how you donate.
Okay. All right. One of the questions I have right now is, if somebody was to do this and donate to you, how transparent are you about things?
Very.
Okay. So there's not going to be no hidden agendas. There's not going to be nothing that whoever's going to donate, they're going to know everything and anything at any time.
Yeah, so with like I said, I had to do trainings and stuff, and I'm part of several nonprofit Facebook groups. And one thing that I have heard over and over again is somebody misappropriating funds, or getting donations, and okay, we got this large donation, are we allowed to put it towards operating cost, which in the back end, operating costs can cost a lot of money and people don't realize that. And the thing that I think is important is when somebody, and especially me, I take money out of my pocket and I give it to an organization. I don't want to take my money, donate it on a website, and then it goes into the wide open universe, and I have no idea where this money went. I used to donate to an organization for children, and they would send me a picture of the child that I helped. It was a local organization for foster kids. And it was like, I want, this money to go to this kid. And they showed where they took him shopping and got him a haircut and was able to buy him new shoes, which he loved. And that made me feel good because I knew exactly where that money went. So right. People, when they know where that money goes and they know how it's being utilized, then they are more willing to be a monthly donor, a yearly donor. They're more willing to go talk to somebody at a coffee shop about your organization because they feel like they have a very important part in that. And people like to feel good. In this society, there's so much negativity that people drive for positivity. And if they feel like their hard-earned money and their free time that they're spending to help a kid or an organization is bringing something to them, they're more than willing to be a part of that.
Okay. Would you be comfortable with having donations and the person wanting to remain anonymous?
Yes. So we've had several actually that have donated like $50, $100 that wanted to stay anonymous. And the only thing that we ask is they fill out our 501c3 donation letter so that they can at least take that, for their taxes. And we do that letter and we thank them privately. And I send them a handwritten card because I'm a personal person. So I send them a handwritten card and we just leave it at that.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Because I do know there's people out there that's wanting to do anonymous. I know there's people out there that don't seek the fame or the glory or anything like that. They just want to be willing to help the best way they can. And I do know that getting this initial start is going to be the tough part. But if they're willing to do that and they see how you grow, they see how things start happening, and I know that more than likely they'll probably keep donating. And that's a grand thing. That is very great, and that's the power of the Lord right there too, is not only with them, but with you, helping you getting your feet forward and moving forward with your goals in life that you want to achieve. And if they can see that everything that you've been talking about is coming together, then that's where the good Lord helps them out by saying, we need to do this. And I can see nothing but prosperity coming your way. That is for damn sure. Now, if somebody is willing to do this, how do they get hold of you in order to do this?
So I tell everybody, as you were talking about transparency, I tell everybody you can find me on Facebook, Victoria Moul. You can reach me through our Facebook page, Kitty's Longbranch. You can reach us through the website. My number is everywhere. So you can call me, you can text me, you can email me. My email is everywhere as well. Yeah, you could Google me and find me that way too. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm all over the place.
Awesome. Good. Because I kind of got a feeling you might have some people trying to get hold of you, just so because they want to know more about this and what you're trying to achieve, more than what we've covered here.
Sure.
And that's a great thing. That really is. I do know that from that message I got, you have sparked an interest with somebody. So they're willing to truly consider giving you a helping hand. And
I want to get this built. It's all I want. I just want this ranch for these kids. And I get calls constantly for kids that would be perfect for this program. And it turns my stomach that I have to tell them that we're not open yet and we're not able to take them yet. And it would just be really nice if one day I could get a phone call for a kid that would be great for the program and I could say, sure, I'm in the office all day, come on down. I even baked cookies this morning. It would be really nice to be able to do that.
Well, I can tell you this, even if they want to go through me, I'd be willing to do that in order to put you two together. I don't have a problem with that. Whether it be volunteers, whether it be donators, whether it be sponsors, if somebody's trying to figure out how to help you, I'd be willing to guide them in order to be able to get in touch with you and go from there.
Well, aren't you going to be helping on the ranch too?
Well, you did ask me if I wouldn't mind running the nonprofit.
Well, there's nothing like getting your friends on board, like being the leader.
There you go. But I can see, I just have this feeling, and I have this feeling things are fixing to turn around for you. And this is a point in time in life where I tell people it's time to get your poop in a group, because it's time to get off the fence, because I think things are fixing to make a turn, right or left, and it's going to help no matter what. I love the aspect that you want to be very transparent. You're not going to hide things from anybody. There's not going to be any BS. This is not a political agenda in any way, shape, or form. There's not going to be no politics involved in it as far as what the kids are doing, how they're doing it, the way they're doing it. I love the aspect also that you're working and you're striving for it to be self-sufficient. I love that aspect of it. I also love the aspect that you're willing to consider many different options to make this thing work. Because we know that after you and I have talked, the roadblocks you've come upon since you've been trying to start this is just unreal. And it's all BS. It really is. It's all bullshit, because you're not pandering to just one group of people, in the good old boy society. This ain't about them. This ain't about you. It's about the kids.
Yes.
And I love that aspect. So I got to hold on here just 1 second. I kind of got a feeling there might be some individuals get a hold of you for board of director. Some people get a hold of you for to help you really get things going. And that's why I wanted to do this show with you, is sometimes it takes an outsider to take something good and bring it in front of people so they know about it. I do know that we will continue to talk. And I'll tell you this right now in front of God and everybody, Mr. Brutally Honest Patriotic Rancher Show does support what you're doing 100%. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Thank you.
You have my full endorsement for everything that you're wanting to do. I see grand things coming from you in the future. I see a possibility of you starting up. And don't get overwhelmed, because anytime there's a struggle, anytime there's a need or a want, good man up above knows what you're trying to do. And the first time you have a kid come out and say, teach me, you know you're on the right path.
I'm excited for that day.
There you go. There you go. But I'm getting a little teary-eyed myself right now, and I apologize for that. But actually, I don't apologize for that, damn it.
Amen.
Because I think the Holy Spirit's touching me right now, because I tell you what, I got goosebumps. I got everything you can think of. And I got some great feelings about what you're trying to do, Victoria. And one of the things about it is I can't say thank you enough for the dedication that you've shown and you've been showing in trying to do something. This is one of those times in my life that I am extremely happy to be a part of, knowing you, the friendship, and go from there. Now, one of the things Stephen Tolliver just put, the slower you go, the quicker you get there. That is so true. It takes years. And there's an old saying, all good things come to those who wait. I'm one of those type of people. I want things to happen now, so I'm constantly having to learn to slow myself down.
Me too, and it's taken 2 years.
But I see, you know, the slower we go, the better things will be. The slower we go, the more things will come around. And I just have a feeling. I have a feeling that things are going to turn a corner for you. And whether it be 10 acres, 20 acres, 50 acres, 80 acres, 100 acres, it don't matter.
I just want to help kids. That's it. I just want to help kids, and I want to help people find a home. And you know, that's what this is supposed to be, besides the ranch, is a home. And that's
it'll happen. It'll happen. It'll happen. I got faith in good Lord that it will happen. Sooner or later, things will turn that corner for you.
Or I can just come to your ranch and just build one there.
Well, I'd have to own one. Right now, I'm just leasing this 100 acres out here, and it's all sand. And yeah, you guys come on down if you want to play in the stickers. I got tons of stickers.
As long as they're not goats, I'm fine. I hate goats.
Oh, you got to have some goats now. Goats are cool, especially the little ones. Them little ones are just so funny when they're jumping around and everything.
My kids want fainting goats, but I don't think that would go well.
No. But I want to thank you for coming on with me today. I want to thank you for spreading the word on what you're trying to do. And let's keep our fingers crossed and say our prayers, and hopefully you keep going down the path and this comes around for you.
I appreciate you reaching out to me and offering to bring me on here today, because I wasn't quite prepared, and it turned out a lot better than I could have ever imagined. So I appreciate you offering to even do that for me.
You bet. I'm the one that should be saying thank you, because it fills my heart with happiness to know that you are doing something that is really needed. And this is one of those aspects to where the kids don't have to hear about politics. They don't have to hear about conservatives, Republicans. They don't have to hear about all this BS. Now, here's a main question. When those kids are out there, you're going to have video games. You're going to have cell phones. You're going to have all that.
No. My older kids, my daughters, Christy and Kalia, my nickname was Sarge for Sergeant because to this day, even with my triplets, I don't do video games. I don't do iPads. Is that what they're called? iPads. I don't do any of that. I have one cell phone in my house, and that's strictly for business, and my kids aren't even allowed to play on it. I do not like the idea of children being raised on electronic devices, and I get given a hard time for that. But I don't like it, and I don't believe in it because I was raised by grandparents, and where's their imagination? You know, where's the fun? We grow up and we have to pay bills and be on electronic devices and circle around this world. When do we get to be kids? And if we're handing them all of these things, then not only are they losing the chance to be a kid and use their imagination and go have fun, but now we have to worry about the scary lady that was put into cartoon videos on YouTube, or the WhatsApp app or whatever that's called, where kids are supposed to be able to chat with their friends, and there's pedophiles in there that are pretending to be kids. You take electronics out of it, and there goes your concerns about their welfare. There goes your concerns about what they're learning that you don't want them to learn. And there goes your concerns about them being able to just be a kid. And I may have all of a sudden lost a tremendous amount of popularity saying that out loud, but I will not do for the kids that we help what I don't do for my own.
Right. And I think that's part of the problems we have today is this society has become dependent so much on these things.
I hate my
you see kids pictures of kids sitting in libraries on their phone instead of reading a book. You see people sitting in their houses, pictures of it, people sitting in their houses on their phone. You see them sitting there. People don't eat dinner at the table anymore as a family. You know, so yeah, I applaud that. You know, no cell phones, none of the BS. Let's get back to the aspects of life and the aspects of learning and being real. Because this way you're going to be living in the real world and not the fake world.
Well, and how do you build connections with the human beings that you're going to be on this ranch with if your attention is taken up by other things? Right. How do you build a connection, friendship, a relationship if you're doing this all the time?
Right. Right.
You can't.
Right.
You know, and that's what we're supposed to be doing on this ranch is making a family environment, and that's the only way that you. Now, I will not say that I will not have music on every aspect of that ranch, in the horse barn, in the house, in the truck. I will have country music every single place that I go, but not for playing and stuff like that.
Now, when you get up and going, you'll take donations. You're looking for donations of horses, cattle.
So when we get up and going, let's say we have the ranch. Yes, cattle would be one of them. Horses, definitely. I would like to, my goal is for the kids that live on the ranch, they get to be a part of FFA and FHA. And of course, you know, that takes animals. So, you know, having horses, cattle, sheep, you know, show animals for them to be able to take part in that community event as well. The only thing that I do know that we may not be able to take, and that's just for liability reasons, is dogs. I have heard rumored that if you take dogs, it's almost impossible to get coverage for insurance because of it. So that's one animal that I think we wouldn't be able to have, but the rest of them, yeah.
Well, personally, I think you got to have a milk cow for sure, because kids need to learn how to milk cow.
Back off the milk cow. I'm supposed to have a milk cow because my kids love milk.
Oh, I do too. I can't get enough of it. But I think there's going to be some things coming around for you. I really do. I love your passion. I love the commitment that you're showing. I love your desire in what you're trying to set up and achieve. And You got, yeah, that's right, Stephen. You do. You got to have two donkeys.
I'm okay with that.
You got to have two donks for riding.
I'm okay with that.
So, but this has been a great show. I want to thank you for being here with me. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule and coming on so people can learn about Kitty's Longbranch Ranch and you and all your goals, your aspirations, and what you're trying to do.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to talk about this.
Good. You know, it's just great. I'm gonna give my final comments here in just a minute, but you know, I do got a feeling that you might be hearing from some folks. So, my blessings to you, your family, and everything you're wanting to achieve. And feel free to get a hold of me anytime you want, and we'll go from there.
Of course.
Right.
In an hour.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you, ma'am. I do appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris.
And you have a beautiful day. God
you
bless you. Bye. All right, folks. One of the things is when an opportunity like this comes along that she's trying to do, it speaks to me, because this ain't about me. This ain't about you. This is about, like she said, this is about the children. And when you have to have something for the children, that takes precedence. Now, what I love is she's a single mom. She's working her butt off. She's providing for her own family. And now she's wanting to take time for her own family. You know, we all have different things happen in our life, good, bad, or indifferent. Some of us have done things that we're not proud of in our life. Some of us have been a part of things that we're not proud of in our life. We have to learn to grow, accept responsibility, and go from there. I learned an important lesson Saturday night when I was in church. They had a men's deal. The preacher invited me out there after I met with him Saturday morning for breakfast. And we talked and we got it set up. And we actually talked about me getting baptized out here at the place, either down at the creek or in the horse tank. One of the things that I learned was how much we have to turn things over to God. We have to turn things over to Him. We can't carry all the baggage. We have to quit weighing ourselves down with everything that's gone wrong in our life or things that we've done in our life. Yes, we got to accept the responsibility for it, but then we have to go on. We can feel sorry, we can feel bad, we can feel upset. Victoria, she told me a lot about what happened in her life. And I told her about, you know, certain things that happened in my life and where I grew up and things that happened to me. And we made that connection. But one thing we are in the same aspect is, without Jesus Christ in our life, nothing can be accomplished. Nothing at all. And I have this feeling right now the good Lord up above is going to bless her big time. I think the good Lord up above is going to open the door for her. And her plans are going to come around. It could take a little bit longer, but her plans are going to come around. Now, I just want to say a prayer. And if you guys would bow your heads. Heavenly Father, I want to thank you today for giving me the chance to visit with Victoria and talk about Kitty's Longbranch Ranch. Heavenly Father, we ask that you wrap your loving arms around her and what she's trying to do. We ask that you help guide her. We ask that you help the people that watch the show and that will watch the show open their hearts so they can understand what this is all about. This isn't about us. This isn't about me. This isn't about them. It's about the children. Lord Jesus, we know that everybody is born in your likeness. We know that you give us free will. We know that we don't always use that free will in the right way. But Lord Jesus, I know with myself, with to donate. We ask that you open up their hearts and their minds so they can see your will and what you're wanting. We ask this in your son's ever-loving name, Jesus Christ. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, all I can say is it was a great show. It really was. And I feel blessed to have her on here. I really do. So if you guys know somebody that might want to volunteer, might want to help out, might want to do a sponsorship, anything, get hold of Victoria. I got her Facebook page, her internet site pulled up here. I'm going to do this. And this is her website address. kittieslongbranch.org. That is her website. kittieslongbranch.org. So you can go there, and like she said, she does have a Facebook page. You can go on there. She's even got her own personal page, and you can get up there and get in touch with her. Even if it's just to tell her I support you, whatever. So I feel great about today's show. I feel blessed to be able to do this show and bring it to you guys, because this really touched my heart after I visited with her. So I want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. It's been a great show. And as we look at things in life, we have to consider one thing. Do we sit on the fence, or do we get off and pull the splinters out of our butt? I think it's past time. And one thing I've been learning more and more every day since I accepted Jesus Christ is to get off the fence and pull the splinters out of my butt. And I'm going forward. I'm going forward. No matter how hard it is, no matter the struggles I have to face, I do know with the good Lord up above helping me that I will go forward. No matter what comes at me. And I know she will too. I know she will too. So, ladies and gentlemen, God bless you. God bless the Republic of the United States. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you all for being here. And share this around. Share this with everybody you know. Share it with all the different groups you're in. Share it with everybody so everybody in the United States can see and understand what she's trying to achieve. Thank you. I appreciate you. God bless you. We will talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.